como a gente teve que ressignificar a nossa vida agora, a gente ressignifica o nosso trabalho, né? E a minha paixão é levar qualidade de vida para os meus clientes.
E é muito gratificante para a gente como profissional, para a gente como ser humano, né?
The class is really, really good because I think they make everything easy. It's fun to study this.
Eu sou muito grata a vocês e de ver tantos cursos maravilhosos que ajudam a gente na prática.
Apenas comece.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome back.
How are you guys? Welcome to the third day of the Sustainable Architecture Week. Thank you guys for joining. We are seeing a lot of people here. Hello from Lebanon. Hello from Kenya. Hello from California. Hello from lots and lots of places. Hungary, Budapest. Wow, very cool places.
Mauritius and some people from Brazil too that had comment earlier here that I saw that from Kenya.
Yeah. Let's go on, guys. The third day of the Sustainable Architecture
Such a colorful
Week.
event.
Yeah. I'd like to say some things for you about the summaries. I know some people are receiving summaries in Portuguese for a very strange reason. And we are going to send this email again for you if you got this, okay? So just to mention this. And if you haven't got the summaries, you still have time to do this. You need to put your email, the right email, of course, for you to receive. We received about 500 wrong emails. And we know there are wrong emails because our system, it says it bounces.
It's not deliverable.
So guys, I'd like to say you this. And once again, thank you for joining. Thank you for believing in green buildings, to believing in sustainability and all of these great things that it can provide, not only for the environment, not only for people, but for your life as well. All right, so we are going to proceed. We have Tiziana. All right, you are without audios, TC.
Yay, started with the wrong foot. Can you hear me well now?
Yeah,
yes,
perfectly.
Yay.
Let's go on,
not
guys.
Too loud, not too...
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
We are on.
Let's go. And once again, about the summaries, I'm just going to say one more thing. In the fourth day, we are going to give you some alternative links if you haven't got this for a crazy reason. Okay, so keep calm. You are going to get the summary. If you want the summary, you will get the summary. Kiss.
Yeah, we have understood also that a few countries are having problems with Telegram, that it's being blocked. So we are considering this, and we're going to deal with this issue to make sure everyone has access to all the materials. All right. So don't worry. We are reading your messages and trying to deal with it in a timely manner so we can keep on going with the event.
Yeah. Let's go on, guys. So the third day is the best sustainable strategies. This is the theme of the class. And we say the best, but of course, yesterday we saw lots of great things as well. Energy efficiency is one of the best as well. But of course, we are going to have lots of outstanding strategies here. And I think the best because we are going to see environmental quality. We are going to see sustainable materials. We are going to see water efficiency. So it's going to be great. Okay, so once again, I'd like to say thank you for our fellow students who are purchasing our courses, who make these free events possible. I don't know if you know this, guys, but we invest a lot to do these free events, and this is a great way to say thank you for our students who make these events possible. So if you are here, you got one of our courses, you know that you are a big part of this. So let's go. So the first day you understood that you are having clarity, right? So how you can work with sustainability. You understood that there is the best time. There isn't best time in history to work with green buildings. You understood as well that you need to have a process to do this, and we are giving you a process, a whole process actually, right? We are not
Literally, we're giving you the map.
yeah. People asked for the map, and we developed the first version of this map in 2017, and it was a lot of work involved to make this possible, and we are giving this for free for everyone. So just for you to know, it was a lot of work involved, but we love to know that with this map you can make a difference in your design. And of course, you have the Telegram channel to download this map. And if you haven't the Telegram for some reason, we are going to give you some alternative link. Tomorrow we are going to think in something, okay? And you are going to get this. Certificates, people know about this right now. There's a hidden fee of $7, a very symbolic price for this free course that we are giving you, okay? Results that you can expect. You can tell me if you got one of these results, because it's great for us to know. It's great to know that we are transforming you. You are not just getting lots of content and not, making a link with your life or your career or your clients. And our reason to do these events is that you make the difference and you get this content that make the difference, make better for your clients, make better for your life. So I want to know if you got one of these things during the event these first 2 days, because right now we are shifting to a most important part of this event. And this is going to be a crucial part of this event, that we are separating serious people for enthusiastic people. So this is the way that you're going to have the deepest content, you're going to have the deepest knowledge, and the knowledge that you will link to your real life and make a huge difference. But I know people are getting outstanding results. We are seeing commentaries everywhere, so it's outstanding for us to know about this. Okay, so
yes, there's somebody that just mentioned that on the chat. Homemade says, this is my second course with you guys, and I'm learning so much and discovering ways to find new materials. So nice to see that every event that we do, people get results and they evolve. And this is our goal here, is to push you further with sustainability and getting the construction field a little bit lighter as far as what we have an impact on the environment.
Yeah, exactly. So we are seeing some great results here, right? That we can see. Motivation, because I finally know how I will do the right thing. Let's see. Differentiating myself and getting more recognition. Let's see. Thank you guys for helping us to make the roadmap available. Priceless map, great effort. Thanks you, Green. Let's see some results. I am founding my company, and the class is the best for complement my practice and take it to real. We are seeing lots of people. There are tons and tons of. If you see our Instagram or we have the website that you can have the Facebook commentaries as well. It's outstanding, the kind of commentaries that we are having. Yeah, I'm working in a house project and I wanted to make it sustainable. So this is helping me, and we are going to get further. Thank you for helping us. Amazing course. I haven't thought to watch the lives, but it's transformative. Cool. People, we know sometimes.
So cool. This gives us fuel, and this kind of comments, it makes us sure that we are going in the right direction, that we are doing something that it's impacting. Yeah. And, like from small projects to bigger projects, everyone needs to contribute to this. And seeing these comments, this is so rewarding, and it's it shows us that this movement has a driving force, and that you guys are part of it, and you will take this further and multiply this, pay it forward.
Exactly. Okay, so let's proceed. We have the special features. You already know which are these features, why we do this. We want to bring you a great transformation. So the special feature is a great way to do this. And you understood there is a real free course. It's not bullshit. It's a free course that we are giving. And we love to do this. We love to bring the best that we can for you during these days we have together here. And of course, tomorrow we are going to open the opportunity, but we are going to talk about this tomorrow. But it's great to see the enthusiastic people and all the knowledge that we are having here. So you understood that we are giving a free course. We put this is there for you to know how our company kind of works, right? You can see we have free content. We have the Biophilic Design Blueprint course. We have some lectures. Then we have this course. Then we have the Green Script. That is the next step. We have some mentorings. We have some projects and consultancies as well. But we put this free content for you to make the difference. And we thought of give something for free because we know that this kind of content that we are giving can make a huge difference for most people. And of course, if you want to go to the next step, it's cool for us. And we are giving you a method, and you understood that our method, when we are talking about method, people usually thinks about sustainable design as one single thing, as energy efficiency, or they think about water efficiency, or sometimes they even think about these two things together, but they usually don't think about the whole process. And you understood that we talk about the whole process. You understood there is a climate condition discovery first. You're going to see all of the strategies on natural, artificial light, thermal comfort, water, materials, acoustics, air quality. We are talking about sustainability and health at the same time. So all of these contents together will make a huge difference in your design. So that's why we believe that all of these things together can make you a great consultant, can make you a great professional, can make you a great architect. I know there are some people there who are not architects, engineers, or designers, and this content I know that can make a huge difference because we need to understand all things together. You don't want to address just one thing and lose or miss other opportunities, great opportunities that you may have.
And we are happy to see that more and more in our events, we've seen it. I know we speak from the architect's point of view because we are architects, but we try to amplify this view for you as a consultant, as an engineer, as an environment engineer, also an interior designer. So we try to show you the whole thing. Of course, we do have this view, but your comments and your participation in the chat and it's giving us more and more fuel to understand more your needs and bring every time different content or complement the contents that we share with you here. So thank you for that too.
Yeah, guys, you learned that we are removing elephants from living rooms. We are not killing elephants. We make this agreement, right? We won't kill any elephants. We are just going to remove them from the living room.
Yes, we decided that killing was too
we
strong.
talked about this in the first class.
No animal was harmed during this class.
No, we are not going to harm any animals. Yes. So we need to talk about cost, guys, and cost is a big issue when we are talking about sustainable design. Because people will always say, well, it's about cost. It's about, having, it's costly. I want to do this. And this is a big problem that we have. And we want to demystify this for you because you saw the last class, the second class that I made an energy design analysis, right? And you understood that lots of things that I did in the last class was about choices. It wasn't about doing something more expensive. Of course, you need to analyze the cost of the shading device, but you need to analyze, of course, the cost of you don't waste that amount of energy or the amount of glass that you are removing from the project because glazing costs a lot in a building. So sometimes when people talk about cost, usually is people who doesn't know how to make truly sustainable design, and they start a regular project, and they get this regular project, and they give for a doctor, and they say, doctor, this building is sick or something. This building is not the best that we could be doing. Then the doctor is going to say, oh, I can give you this and this and this. They are remediating the project. They are not doing the project from the beginning the right way. So if you need to change things during the project, in the middle of the project, of course, you're going to have more money involved, because if you can't do a shading device anymore because your project are on the limits of your building site, then you are going to have to waste a lot of money on the glazing. And I'm just giving you
other systems, yes.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a real quick example. And if you see some of our projects or our analysis that we did in previous classes, we talked about the energy consumption that we reduced a lot, but also we talked about not only about energy reduction, but we talked about the systems that we can reduce systems. We can reduce cooling systems. We can reduce heating systems. We can reduce this because you are doing a project. Maybe you are developing the system to bring heat or cooling to your place. So you can reduce this right away. So this is a cost that you can remove a lot of money in this process. So it's very important for you to understand, because usually when people talk about sustainability, they are going to say, we are going to save money over time. And of course, this is important because the operation is a big part of the process. But we need to think about that we can reduce a lot of money in the beginning of the project. And last class, we showed lots of things. We showed about these choices on energy analysis, and we showed about the process of reducing areas that you don't need in your project. We need to build less. We don't need to build more. We need to build less, at the less as we can. So this is a way that we deal things here at Ugreen. Okay, so
yeah, it's how you do your math, right? It's what are the components that you are putting in this calculation that you're getting that the cost is more.
Yeah,
maybe you are leaving a big parts of the essential life cycle of a building, and you're just considering the very small portion that it's building it, and you're not considering the whole life cycle of this building. And it's the wrong way of doing math.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to analyze a lot of things. We need to analyze of course, the lifetime of the building, because the lifetime is going to think about this. We are, you have a company, you have 10 people in your company. These people are going to work in a company for 20 years, and we have lots of costs involved because people get sick. And if you have a more sustainable project, people won't get sick as much as a conventional project. So there is a lot of fewer costs that during the life cycle of the project is going to make a huge difference. But of course, you can reduce right away. And that's how we deal with sustainable design here. So we have, of course, this. People usually, they don't know how to make this from the beginning to the end. And we are not talking here about just buildings, but we need to deal with sustainability in the whole process. And we can say about products, we can say about the market itself, right?
Many industries have found out
exactly.
that dealing with that with the problems that come with not properly applying sustainability to their project, it's more expensive. It has been more expensive to fix the problem than to actually do it right from the beginning. And this is something that we have seen in the former CEO from Unilever has said that too. It has been a lot of cost to the industry. So this sustainability shift, it's not something that came by chance. It's something that a lot of people with a lot of money have been researching and doing their homework, and they finally have enough data to put this forward.
Yeah, exactly. So the concept of payback, right? The concept of you paying one thing today and receiving more tomorrow. So we need to understand this concept. right? This is one big issue on sustainability. So when we think about a life cycle, as we told before, we have this the whole operation of a building. So when you see a project, the project costs 1%. This is the percentage your clients are complaining about usually.
I know.
Right? This project
Please
is so
take
expensive.
this chart to them.
So this is the importance of a project. It's 1% applied that you're going to have, of course, the construction. And we are talking about all projects, right? The architectural project is inside of this 1%. So it's less than 1%, of course. And then we have the construction, we have the renovations, and we have the operation. So the operation is, people who are working inside the space. Let's say we are paying, I don't know, $1,000 just to monthly, $1,000 a person, let's say, just a random value here. I don't know your country, right? So this is just a random value. And let's say you have 10 people out there, and these 10 people, they have not the best thermal comfort environment. So we have, I don't know, 5 degrees more that it should be on this space. So you think you have 10 people, you are looking inside your company and you have 10 people, but actually you have 7 people because 3 people, we are losing productivity on each people. So we are going to have 7 people. And I'm just talking about thermal comfort. We need to understand about lighting. We need to understand about all of these things, acoustics, of course, and this is very important. So operation costs a lot on the life cycle. And when a person is going to rent a building or is going to buy a property, they want to know, right? And each time they will want to know, I want to have the best result on this because this is a big investment. And people are understanding more and more about this. And this is a big issue that I want you guys to talk more for your clients. Talk more about this. You need to understand that sustainable design is going to bring a lots of. It's a big investment that people can do, right? So this is just one way to see these things, right? We talked about this results that you can have right away, and of course the life cycle. And then you have the operational costs. You can see salaries, rent, energy. So considering the life cycle of a building, we are talking here as an office, right? But if you shift for a house, you can think about the quality, right? Your daughter, your kid is studying inside your house, and he could be learning more. He could have a better life. Families could have a better relationship. Sometimes.
Yes, you were talking about the relationship between people too. We don't take into consideration that sometimes spaces can stress out, not just in the work environment, but also in your house, in your home. If you don't have the proper environment and you're stressing yourself with things that you're not seeing it, but you're feeling it. And this can have a burden on relationships too between people. And the studying, and a lot of people have been working from home now too. So all of these things start to pile up and create a sick environment.
Yeah, think about this. Maybe you live with a very boring person, and maybe it is because of the environment, it's not because of the person. Or maybe because it's boring, but you understand the idea, right? So this is the idea that we are giving you here. Maybe it's not their fault, right? It's just environment. Of course,
I know. I had my sister when we were young. My sister, she has allergies, and some of the houses where we lived, it didn't have the proper environment for her allergies. And then she was always cranky because she was constantly having a runny nose and her eyes were tearing. And so she was always in a bad mood at the house.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't stand myself. And maybe I think, right? Sometimes I may think, well, that's because of the environment. Let's go on. You need to understand that more value, of course, have a better price. And when you are giving more value to people, you can charge a better price. This is the natural way that things are, right? Things who cost more, usually they have that they have more value, it will have a better price. My grandfather said in the past, the miserable pays more, the miserable pays paga caro, pays
more expensive.
Yeah, because sometimes when you try to buy something cheaper, sometimes you need to buy two things, right? You need to buy the cheaper, then it's not going to last. You need to buy
and
once
you replace it often, and then
Yeah.
you have a huge carbon footprint because you're replacing that very often, and at the same time you're spending more money, not just carbon footprint, but also spending more money for that didn't last what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Green buildings don't have to cost more. You can see here, right? It's a cool analysis that you can read here, right? High performance building can be sold at a premium with an average green building worth 10% more than its traditional counterpart. A green building are 40% less costly to operate. So this is that calculation that we are giving you. We can't. Of course, sometimes we will spend more money, but we will save money over time. But if you are doing these strategies that we are giving you, you are going to save money right away. So this is a huge shift on the idea of sustainable design, because you can reduce areas, you can reduce energy consumption, you can do wisely choices right in the beginning of the project. And this is our methodology, our special methodology that people are not doing this because they are architects who rely on energy modelers, and these people are going to do their best, but they can't do everything because it passed the right time to do this. And we have this is what we call the trap. This is a trap chart that we give you because we have three things here that when we sum these three things, you can't do sustainable design, right? You can't hide from this anymore. And so we can see here we have a growing market in the left, more restrictive norms in the middle, and client demand on the right. So growing market, you can see on the left, this is a United States market. We are having a growth of high performance projects. In the middle, we can see more restrictive standards, right? We have ASHRAE. ASHRAE is a standard for engineers and air conditioners, right? So specialists is the biggest in the planet, and they are developing standards from, I think, for each 2 or 3 years. They are bringing updates, and these updates are getting more and more restrictive. So you can't run from this because this standards is going to impact your practice sooner or later. So you understood there is a growing market and there is more restrictive standards. And on the right, you can see client demand. You can see operational costs, higher occupancy rates, high rental rates. Clients understand this. Clients know that this is important and you need to address these things. Higher productivity, better value on sales. So people are each time more understanding the advantages of sustainable design. So there is no way to go, right? This is the trap chart that I wanted to show you here. And number 3, we need to understand that it's possible to make sustainable buildings with similar costs. And that was I was talking before about energy analysis and all of these things. And it's about choices, right? And that's the part that you can make a huge difference. And that's the part that I want you to pay attention, because you can make a huge difference presenting choices for your client. And you can present real good choices. The best choices are not the choices who cost more, but sometimes you can bring choices.
Early decisions, right, can be there. That right, some of these choices, early decisions on what he's doing it with what, and oriented, choosing the site. Perhaps if he has the opportunity to choose different sites and you have a better orientation. You know, this building I can put on this site this way, and it will cost this much with energy and thermal. But if you choose that site over there, that it's almost the same, it will cost you a little bit more, but you have a better orientation, then you will save on further on and even gain more to have that site. So this kind of choices and decisions that you have to present to your client. Go ahead, Tissy.
And it's important to remember that you maybe won't get that information in your first design that you are trying to get this approach. But then you gather information from this design, and in the second one, you use it for the second client. And so you build your how can I say it? You build knowledge on that, and you will know what is best and what is not, depending on the design and how you can apply it right away. So and how you can sell it to your client right away. So it's also based on the experience, but you have to start doing this to get this knowledge.
As we said yesterday, sometimes you are not going to have the perfect site to develop a project, but earlier in the process, you can't have these choices, but you can have choices on the building facade, or you can have choices on building areas. So this is our methodology, and this is a thing that people are not talking about, and we want to ensure that you are understanding our way to make this practice. Okay, so once again, early analysis is the best way to do, and people usually they don't know how to do this. And of course, number 4, we need to communicate effectively. And I had lots of problems on communication, because sometimes we think people know what we are talking about, but sometimes you need to talk more simpler to your client, you know, because we have one thing. I don't know if you notice this, but we usually we don't know we don't know how it is our life of not knowing this that we know. Try to explain again.
You know what?
Translate it for me.
Let's translate this. Let's get unscrambled. But the thing is, once we reach a certain knowledge or a certain level of knowledge, it's hard to explain or to go back to a simpler way of explaining things. And what we do here is an exercise. And actually on the first or second day, somebody commented that on the chat, and I saw that. It caught my attention that he was like, you know, speak in more technical terms. We are all professionals here. No, we're not all professionals here. And now you have seen how plural is our audience. So we do have to try to make it technical, yet place where people will understand the value of this technical material that we're trying to share. The words, we understand that for most, you know, English is a second language here, but it's an universal language that we found to reach out most of the people. So we have to understand that there are limitations for everyone, and for your clients is the same thing. Translate to your clients and to the way he speaks. When we are talking, you know, you probably have a client that is concerned about health, or you have a client that is concerned about his money. So how you present your project, you're going to present the same project, but perhaps you're translating to this one person on health benefits and to the other person on money and economics that he is saving or putting it forth. So, you know, there are ways to present and communicating your project in the same project, because it's the way that you chose to work. And you know the value of your efforts. You just need to know how to translate that to your client in a language that he speaks. And it takes a little sensibility, you know, on your part, or somebody that is working with you and perhaps is better with people. You know, people skills is that.
Yeah. So you understood this. We need to get this idea that we know things, and sometimes we don't know how to communicate because we know this thing. So we are trying to convince a client. You are telling the U value of this building facade is, we need to reduce the U value because we are going to have we are going to reduce the, I don't know, the thermal loads, right? So clients don't understand this, and you need to communicate with your client, not for architects. Sometimes we have this acceptance thing. We need to the architects know
to
that,
recognize give her a like on our Instagram.
No. Your client's going to make your life, not the other architects, right? So don't believe on these things that people say, right? All right, so we need to keep going because we have lots of things to cover. So you understood that most people, they don't know how to do it holistically. So it's important for you to understand this. And you need to have the tool, right, to make this outstanding impact depending on where you live, because people who understand this, they can make this difference, okay? But what costs more? Not doing this. And it will cost more for a client, it will cost more for the planet, and it will cost more for you as well, okay? So this is what costs more, I can assure you on this. If you want a guarantee or something here in this event, I can guarantee this for you. This is what costs more. And we will see the results on this, on our choices in the future. All right, so we removed most elephants. Maybe we will have one or two more, but I think we removed the biggest ones. So it doesn't bring results. We showed you that it brings a result. We are a company who works worldwide doing this. It's not hard to do this. If you have a process, we are giving you a process here. It doesn't cost more. Depends on what the step of the process you are arriving, and you can grow doing this. You can grow doing this. It can be a part on your practice. So please, guys, this is the third class. So don't lie to yourself. Do this. Try to do what we are teaching. We are here to give you tools to make the difference, and not just classes that you are listening and forget and go there and tell people that you learned something about sustainable design. You need to do things. You need to put things into practice. You don't need to do it all, but you can do one strategy or another. You will be making a difference already.
Put one foot in the water.
Yeah. So, and we say this is kind of offensive, I think, but we are tired of people telling beautiful words, and this is part of on our life, because people say, well, sustainable design is beautiful, how cool it is, but this won't save the planet. Beautiful words, we have movies to hear this. We have series on Netflix.
Action.
Yeah, we want action. We want action. Okay, so you are already in this process, and if you are here in the third class, you know that 3,000 people are not here for some reason, and you are in the right place. And I would like to clap for you if you are still here. A little, not because of the microphone, but you understood that we are giving big claps to you. Okay, so let's go to the map. 40 minutes on this class, so we need to go to water efficiency, and this is the next step of the process. Okay, let's go on. So do you want to talk about the concepts first, right, Tisa? We'll put the map here so people can read about this.
Just a quick disclaimer for people seeing me raise my hand and saying, let her speak. It's not a problem. We have a little time to say it all.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Felipe is trying to keep us on track because we have to. Otherwise, you're going to stay here 3-4 hours. And don't worry, if it's important, I'm going to manage to sneak it at some part later, okay?
and guys, one thing, we are family. We are family. Sammy and Tisa are my sisters. We fight when we want to fight. We don't have problems. We fight and then we hug each other in the end, okay? So that's not a problem. All right, we can keep going.
Okay, water. First things first, analyze your weather at the beginning. We talked about it before, and see if it's possible to harvest rainwater, for example. So try to speak with your plumbing engineer and see what you need to add to your design in order to do that. So saving water comes after that. First, you see what you got in your environment. Then you have to, of course, save water. How do you save water? First, do not use it for things that you don't need to. Speak to your landscape designer. What vegetation are you using? Do you need irrigation? If you can choose species that that grow well without that many irrigation, or are especially native and adapted species, they will grow and they will develop without the need of that many water. Next, you will include, Sammy, please just, if you want to add something, just let me know, okay?
No worries.
Then in your design, try to check if you can choose equipment that has low consumption. For example, faucets, toilets, and so on. So you don't have to rely on how people use it. You are already giving them an equipment that will reduce consumption from start on. So, and of course, later you will educate your client, but you have to give them the possibility to do that when they are not thinking about it.
I do want to add one thing over here. When we think about the water flow, and we usually think things straightforward, like your showers, low flow showers. You're thinking about your water faucets, fixtures, and your toilets. But one thing that sometimes people don't take into consideration is washing machines and dishwashers. That what kind of flow they have too, because some of the modern ones, they do have already a certain level of efficiency and they are conscious with the environment, most of brands. But if you have something that you're taking from the past, and it still works, how can you reduce that water flow? One of our clients, he didn't understand why he couldn't, he changed everything and he couldn't understand why he couldn't lower his bills, and he understood that was his mother washing machine that was bearing, his water bills. So, there are things that you have to work on every aspect of it.
Yeah, and you need to think that water, when you are saving water, you are saving energy as well. So if you are reducing water consumption, you are reducing energies in most cases, okay? So it's important to understand, and this is a process. Understand the precipitation, determine the landscape, the correct landscape, use native or adapted plants. You need to understand the species factor. You need to understand the shadings factor, because if you have more shadings, usually you will avoid the evapotranspiration of the plants, and you can bring plants together as well. So you will save more water, right? And then we are going to bring some more strategies. We are going to show about xeriscaping a little bit as well. That is the landscape that doesn't consume water, right? Okay.
Definitely. Someone mentioned also plants that give back to the environment. I don't know if I understood that right, but try to choose native species. If you cannot apply native species, then you go to the adapted ones, okay?
Mm-hmm. Somebody's mentioning compost toilets and dry toilets. It depends on where you are. There is a certain maintenance for you to keep it healthy as well. So you have to understand you have the proper environment to implement that. And there are tons of, they have been a lot of studies and brands that are developing and more this type of toilet fixtures. So research what kind of maintenance, and if you have the proper materials to deal with it in a timely manner, because if you don't use those properly, then you create a health issue. So we have to, balance and use well our tools.
And also, if it is a bigger building, then you have also to train the staff that it's going to clean that. So they do with the right products in the right way. So it's important that you follow all the steps to make it work right. Then we have water quality. If you are going to reuse water, have in mind that your client will have to test it. I'm escaping the words today, sorry. I'm missing words, sorry. Make sure that your client understands that they will have to test that water from period to period. It's important to make sure that there are no dissolved metals, organic contaminants, agricultural contaminants, depending on the location of the site, and additives. So this test again and the treatment is something that you have to be careful about and educate your client about it.
Yes, when it comes to water quality, sometimes cities do have a hesitation on having new treating. They might have some laws or some things that will prevent or not you from harvesting and reusing the water on your property. So make sure that you understand what is the legislation too and what you have to abide.
Yeah, someone asked, how can I implement this sustainability in an existing apartment or existing building? You have a low amount of strategies that you can apply, lower than in a new building, of course, a lower amount of strategies that you can apply. And one of them that you can do is change the equipment. So here we are showing the flow rate for low consumption equipments, and you can see what kind of equipment you have, see if it's wasting too much water, and then change it for a newer one that will consume less. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I understand that in the market there are better performance, but this is something that we are using as a baseline. You know, this is the minimum that you should be looking at.
And make sure that these old equipments you can maybe give, donate, or even sell to other people that don't have this. Depending on the country, maybe there are some affordable houses that they do need this kind of equipment, even though they consume more water. But at least you are passing on some valuable material or equipment that still can be used.
Absolutely. And in commercial schools and hospitals, then you have the cooling towers too, where you can have reuse that water or reduce the consumption of water. Check on those equipments, how much water they're using, how the cycle is being done, and if it's the most efficient way that they are operating. Especially if you are remodeling those kind of buildings, they are big and they sometimes they don't have the proper scheduled maintenance, and this is something that needs to be kept on check.
Yeah, you can see here this chart. We are giving you this chart so you can understand the flow rate, the minimum flow rate this equipment should have. So you can see this. You know, you can, I don't know, take a picture with your cell phone or something, and let's go on. Let's proceed. So this is the baseline for equipment, and then we have an example, a picture of
Xeriscaping.
Right, that is a way to reduce, right, the plants, right, the amount of water considering this concept. We won't talk about xeriscaping a lot right now, but we have lots of things to cover. But this is a way that you can be doing.
Yeah, we talked about the equipments, and in the right side of your screen, I hope that I'm saying it right. You have a toilet lid sink, which is an equipment that the water that one person uses to wash their hands will fill the toilet for the next person that is going to use it. So you don't waste water in the process. You're reusing it every time the equipment is used. So this is a very interesting idea. Sometimes it's very costly because of the design, but actually I've seen this being adapted from a regular sink in a regular toilet. So if you talk to a plumbing technician, you might manage to do that too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have this water efficiency part is going to be a faster part. I think we can recover a little thing. Maybe tomorrow we can talk about
A
this.
little bit more. Yes, absolutely.
We have lots of things to cover, guys. Lots and lots of content. Will give the best in these 2 hours for you, but of course we have lots and lots of things to cover. When we talk about the energy, this is a very important part as well. We talked about, right, the simulation. I showed you in practice. So this is a very important part, of course, but when you are doing energy simulation, you are relying on ASHRAE 90.1. Okay, so this is a standard that rules all of these things. We have some alternatives as well. We put you this. You can maybe search this yourself. And then of course, we need to understand that we need to measure this amount of energy that we have. Of course, right? We need to measure things to make it better. So if you are not measuring the energy consumption and the water consumption as well, as TC said before, you can't improve. You can't do if you are doing the right thing, right? You can know, because the idea is to do the project and see in reality. And that's why commissioning as well is a big part of this. Commissioning is a person who doesn't belong to the company, the architectural company or the construction company. It's a person that is outside this process. And this person is going to analyze if the project, the systems that were in the project, they are being really applied right into the real design, the building site. So these people, they are going to see the systems, they are going to check, they are going to, they will go to the job site, and maybe people developed an outstanding air conditioner system, and then they are going to see, right, the ducts, and they are going to see holes in ducts or something, things like this, and all that were in the project is losing. The performance is being lost, and these people will check this and make it even better. And this makes a huge part of energy performance, because project paper, it accepts everything, but the real job site, we can have different things. Okay, so commissioning is a big part in this. And demand and response, depending on the region, we don't have this available. Here in our country, we don't have this available, but we put this to make it more complete for you. But demand and response is like this. Maybe your city, people are using a lot of energy. And when they are using a lot of energy, the concessionary, the people who provides energy, they have,
a plan.
An amount of equipment, right? This energy. Sorry, what you were talking about? The plan.
They usually have a plan, like a city plan with demand and response. And here in Brazil, actually, they did a test in 2019. They started testing
the first test. So the idea is this. If there is a lot of energy consumption, then your building can help the city reducing some, consumptions on energy or in some systems of your building. So this is an idea, and you can help the city to recover from this huge energy consumption. Okay. And then we have, of course, the HVAC, right? The refrigerants, the air conditioners that you are using. So you need to avoid, of course, CFCs. Right. There are some places who uses equipment with CFCs, but they are being banned each time more. And we have more effective refrigerants, right? So we need to use this effective refrigerants in your air conditioner systems. Usually when you buy a new system, you are going to have this more sustainable refrigerants, but you need to check, and you need to, of course, to when you are doing a building simulation, you can downside the amount of this equipment, so you can reduce the amount of refrigerants that are being used in your building. So you are going to decrease the greenhouse gases when you are doing this. Okay, so this is really, really important. And of course, we need to talk about renewable energy. And this is the last step that the use of passive strategies is here because it's part of the integrative process, right in the beginning on the map. We talked about integrative process here, right, in the last class. This class is not available anymore, but we talked about integrative process here, right, in this part, and we are here right now. And when we talk about passive strategies, it is to put into practice and to see if you got the idea that you previously planned. And renewable energy is the last part. So sometimes people use this as the first part in the building, and the first and only part, actually. So they put this in, over a building and
call it net zero.
Yeah, and there are people who are creating crazy certifications, putting prizes in projects like this. And this is crazy. This is crazy.
There are also people, and I've heard this from a client too. He says, we have a solar panel that does not work because it was positioned there just to certify. It's not in the best position of the building. It's shaded now by our neighbors, and it's just there. So you understand now how expensive sustainability done wrong can be, because he has a system that it's not cheap to put there, and now the system, it's shaded and in a wrong position to where he just wanted a photograph to certify a building, to just check that box. So this is expensive. Things done wrong and just for looks, greenwash can be expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, you understood, we are talking a lot about renewable energy because we know it's the future, but since it's the future, people think this is the only thing that belongs to the future, and it's not. So we could put maybe a hashtag for this class related to renewable energy. I will think about an inside joke while Sam is talking about sustainable materials right now.
I think
okay?
Jesse wanted to add something to.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I would just add that the hour, what your client is paying for you to think about the design costs much less than the whatever renewable system you are using on that design. So if you spend more time thinking about it and designing it in a passive way, you will reduce the energy, and then they will buy less equipment. So this is the logic, and they have to understand that. You can put photovoltaics in a shoebox and it will work, but is it sustainable? Come on.
Let's go, guys. We know I'm with this hand, I raised my two hands actually. And that's why I'm going to screen right now. Close your ears. Green Hero Rise, let's go on. What you've learned right now, we want to know. Please tell us in the chat, because you know that you are amazing and you need to tell us, and we want to know, okay? Let's go on. Let's see what you guys learned. If you learned anything, tell us as well. No, you don't need to tell. But if you are here, you haven't learned anything, shame on you, okay? Let's go on. Let's see. All right, people are screaming Green Hero Rise. I want to watch you learn, not to scream with me. But you can scream with me. Yeah.
I'm sure that by now everyone got the idea, and they probably do scream at home too. I hope so.
Remember, Alf, if you always scream very loud, maybe we can
explode the
planet with the Green Hero Eyes, and then it's going to have Niels on outside planet. Sustainability guys did the wrong thing. I'm just joking. I just want to know what you guys learned so far. And let's go on, guys. We are in a big office actually, and we can't screen as we wanted to, but we are doing our best to, I don't know, our neighbors be happy with us
Our
as well.
neighbors would not appreciate ours.
Yeah. But you can scream
Even
at,
though it would be a great getting back at them when they scream.
yeah. But you can scream as much as you want to, okay? Let's go
I'm
on.
just joking.
Sustainable materials.
All right,
Yeah.
sustainable material. Here we go. I love talking about sustainable materials because I like to shatter some things too that usually people look for a brand and give me a material that it's sustainable. As you can see on the chat and during these events, we're talking about the whole world. So how can I say what it's sustainable in America and then say what it's sustainable in the Middle East and what is sustainable, in Australia? It's different. So we have to learn how to evaluate the materials that we have available, and then we will define sustainability within our region and what we have at our reach. First of all, the most sustainable material is the one that it's not harvested, it's not taken away from nature, and it's not even used if not needed. So understanding how your project works, Felipe showed how much of square meters he got out of that building, and reducing that amount of space that it's not needed and that was built just because somebody didn't know how to properly work their footprint. The building footprint needs to be optimized. And then you also have projects that you are remodeling. And usually it's easy for you to just get there with the hammer and get it all out and putting new things. But what can we take from that area, and how can we do the reuse of these materials? So understanding how to specify your materials is the first and important part. And you may not be the one specifying, or if you are the one specifying, then we will be telling you a few things next. But if you are not the person specifying the materials, if you are working for a company and then you have somebody specifying, you need to understand their mind. And first, they are a business person. They need to fight for that budget. They need to get the comparison. So understand and how to present these sustainable materials to them. What kind of benefits these materials are bringing, what kind of savings are coming next if this material perhaps is a little bit more expensive than the one that you are comparing to. So don't compare just price. When you present to the specifier, present price and benefits of both. And then you will have a fair comparison. You need to compare, first of all, oranges with oranges. Technical responsibility. The specifiers, they have technical responsibilities. So they have to sign off on the materials that are specifying. A lot of sustainable materials are in the process of testing. They are being tested in the market, and sometimes some of them will reach the proper quality for your business, and sometimes they will not. And you have to be careful with that too. You know, when you are using testing materials, there is a great risk too. So try to find out what kind of risks you are involved in and where, and if it's proper for you to help testing these materials on the field. Your project is your curriculum. So you have to have this responsibility over your project and what you're handing to your client at a good quality so it can have a proper life cycle too. When you are identifying sustainable projects, check how you are identifying. I'm going to cover this in a little bit too. And proper documentation, understanding the documentation work. I'm going to talk about documentation too. How do you see the sustainable materials documentation, and what are the values of them in the market too? And then you are going to balance quality, budget, and also the regionality of your project. And that's how you're going to come out with your sustainable project. So saving your resources is the first thing that you have in mind. And then we're going to see if these products are using a lot of water and energy. And this is on their process or in their maintenance. What kind of maintenance does this material have? It's a lot of energy and water involved. What kind of flexibility this material has? If it's possible to, after the life cycle being used here, being put in somewhere else and have a different use or adaptive use, how can we give this back? So let's go with saving resources first. When we talk about resources, we're talking about the materials that are not renewable in our systems, in our ecosystem. The materials that are renewable, but are we using it wisely? It's not just because it's renewable that we can, just use it a whole lot. So a conscious use of our resources. How is this material being explored too? Social fairness on the work and exploration of this material in the wild. It's very important to have this thought, because materials, they have this extension of the part where being extracted from the environment. And there is still a lot of slave work on some practices, and we have to avoid and tell the world we are against this. Energy and water savings, again, I just mentioned that as far as what kind of processes they have. Are they using a whole lot of water in the process? As an example, recyclable glazing uses much less water to recycle than to have it new glass made. So it is a positive thing that recycled glass can be done that way, in less energy and less water. On the opposite, plastic uses a lot of more water and energy to be recycled than to have it harvest new, and to have it produced new. And that's why plastic is no longer, as far as we can avoid this, we should, because it's not a good balance. When we talk about flexibility, I'm telling you about reusing your materials or replacing or having the thought of disassembly. Can this material be easily taken out and be replaced in a different job or used in a different job at the end of the life cycle? Or can it be used by other industries and have this as a base for materials in other processes, understanding the life cycle of this? And then we have 5 R's that actually I put here 5 R's, but the R's are up to 10 now, I think. If you explore, really, there are 10, I think. But the basics is to first refuse, like we said, reduce the amount of materials that we're using. TC and I talked about minimalism yesterday, having this balance between not using what you don't need, but at the same time, don't exaggerate on that, so you don't have a place that it's enjoyable by your client too. Recycling. Oh, I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
I was just thinking 10 hours right now. Maybe they are making a competition, right?
It's a silent competition.
Yeah, refuse, reduce, recyclable, reuse, restore, Ramones. Or something like that.
Rage Against the Machine.
Resist.
Yeah. But resist is one of them. You know why? Because we are tempted to have beautiful things or to replace things sometimes to make our life easier. And I know in the US there is such a culture too. I've lived there for a while, and I know that replacing things with new, it's easier to fix. And it's less of a headache, and it can be done in a snap of fingers. So resist that idea and make it and change that in your mind, so you can contribute to the environment, not because it's easy, but because it's right. It's important. Then restore our buildings. We have a lot of the imprint that we have on Earth. It's already built. We're still going to build a whole lot, and I don't know how much we have, but we need to understand that what is here has a problem. So we must still restore that and use this carbon footprint that was already imprinted and make it this life cycle optimized and extend the life cycle of buildings that are still in good shape.
I'm just laughing of the creativity of people here.
Revive, rethink, relax.
Relax. Yeah. If you haven't got any of the 9 R's, you can just relax. Because,
Reincarnate.
because the world is going to.
Yes,
To end.
material reincarnation, like bring it back some materials, by recycling, you're doing material reincarnation.
Yeah, we are all going to relax and die, everyone, because the world is going to end if we don't do this. Okay, so if you don't have the,
You guys
if you
are
don't do it
awesome.
right, just relax and let's go. Okay.
Oh yes, absolutely. The R's are infinite, and I'm sure we can beat those people that made the 10. We just beat them with our chat.
Yeah, people got crazy. People got crazy in the chat. Okay, let's go on,
All
guys.
right, going on with the design purpose. This is a part of materials where you can understand how you can, use all the R's and the flexibility and the purpose of the materials. As an example, I always like to use hospitals as an example, because hospitals, they have this constantly renewing of machines and techniques that have been advancing in the field. So what happens is, if you have a space where you can transform those areas and expand the roof a little bit more to accommodate a bigger machine, or reduce this when you need a place to to have a different machinery, those kind of things, movable walls, partitions that can be unassembled and reassembled in another place without damaging this material and the properties of this material. So every time you can think of the design purpose and make it flexible and attend with the proper materials too. In schools, we know the kids, they have a very active use of the tables, and they are always bouncing off the walls or jumping over places, kicking things. And this is the activities for them. So what kind of materials is reliable to use in school? It's easy maintenance, and that you can also make it beautiful and at the same time last longer, have a good life cycle. So it depends on the purpose of the materials and the design purpose of this area. And not just your choice because you think it's beautiful.
Why not? It's beautiful.
It's
I
with
want
a
to use
C.
this.
The choice is with a C. I think it's with the
Oh, the
S.
choice, yeah.
Choice.
The choice.
we
Wise
made
choice.
Choice. That was
Yeah.
very choicey.
Yeah.
So yes, when you think about
It was
choosing your-
the guy who works in our company, right? It wasn't me, I promise. It was the guy who worked, the new guy on the
It
company.
was a new guy
in the
that,
company,
that I
okay?
don't know yet.
I'm sorry for this person, okay?
So again, this is just to recap though. We're recapping because we're thinking like materials, they need to fulfill their life cycle to the best. We need to reuse materials that we have available, that this carbon footprint was already there. It was already harvested. Let's reuse it. And saving our resources with energy, water, and, the actual properties of the raw materials. Choose materials that have low impact on the environment. And we're thinking about, when we're thinking about the environment and the life cycles of materials, we have to think of 2 cycles: the technical cycle and the environmental cycle. There are some materials that will go back on Earth and they will be absorbed by the environment. What kind of life cycle and what kind of impact will they have when they are absorbed by the environment? Are they toxic? Are they going to contaminate our food and water? Are they going to contaminate people that are passing by, or the air that we breathe? What kind of materials that we are giving it back to Earth? And then on the technical materials, can these materials be absorbed by the technical environment where it can be used as a raw material for other industries, or it can be replaced and reused, renewed, and recycled within their cycle, and optimize this life expansion of the material by switching to a different industry. So when we're talking about materials, it's not just the use of materials, but the design of materials. And if you are a material designer or product designer, you need to think about that. How can my product go back to either of these cycles with the lowest environmental impact? And we are thinking about this. We're moving on to the most common sustainable materials that people talk about. And I think we can move there.
Oh, sorry. I was just putting the hashtag of the class. I'm just creating the Instagram hashtag for today, our inside joke, right? We do inside jokes and no one knows what we are doing here. And I
we
love
need to
this.
put an X on the
I
plastic.
put off yesterday. People enjoyed a lot. Lots of people, what's happening? What's happening? It's really strange, this secret group that you guys have. Let's go on.
Yeah, people that are live on the class, they are getting the most of the inside jokes. This is the best part too. It's cool.
Yeah, Felipe, someone said that you represent them as a student because you were saying about the R's and so on. Now I think you represented more in some way on Instagram.
Yeah, great choice is a good hashtag. There's a lot of good hashtags
Great
today.
choices.
Yeah.
Choices, very choices. We're going to choice now of the most common sustainable materials. And when we're looking here at fibers like coconut fibers or different fibers that you may have on your region, they're good raw materials that have properties. They have insulation properties. They have even finished properties if they are compact. They have thermal comfort properties. So fibers are coming out very strongly in certain areas where they are available. Eco-friendly resin that we're thinking on when some of these resins are even being used for waterproofing, which some of the chemicals that are used to waterproofing are not very eco-friendly. And the industry is also evolving for that. So you can look for these things. When we're thinking of eco-friendly stone wool or eco-friendly concrete, things that usually have a big impact but have been there are some people that are rethinking these materials, especially concrete that has a lot of impact on our system and our industry is something that needs to be rethinking. Bamboo in the places where it's available. The recycled plastic, I cross it off and I leave it here just so I can say I'm crossing it off because it's no longer, like I said, it's no longer an industry that is healthy. It's more expensive to recycle. We don't have enough people recycling and reusing plastic to fulfill our demand. So I know there are things that are plastic. We cannot deal without it, but we have to rethink the way we are using and taking it away from where it's not enough.
Sammy, someone asked us in Instagram and also here, and you mentioned really quickly about bamboo. Is bamboo sustainable in Brazil?
In certain areas of Brazil, there are some harvesting that it's going on, and there are because but with bamboo, it's hard to analyze too because there are 500 species of bamboo, more or less. So it's something that some species are good for different things. Some species are good just for planting. Some species are good for furniture, and some for building. So in Brazil, we have some species that are coming up with furniture, and they are trying to bring more of the ones that are also good for construction. But more towards the center and the northeast of Brazil is where we have this, but not necessarily everywhere in Brazil. Bamboo is the most sustainable one.
And in the world.
And in the world, within that thought, we can apply to that. So just analyze what kind of bamboo it's produced in your region and if it's feasible. Demolition
people
wood.
told you she was going to talk about it.
Demolition wood, cork, and recycled glass. Recycled glass, I love saying that because recycled glass is more sustainable than actually new glass. Biofuels for whatever is needed, eco-friendly paints and resins that we have this in and recycled metals too. Cork is another thing that is just like bamboo. It depends on the region. And it will be more sustainable. It's a great application. Bamboo and cork, they have great applications in the architecture world, but we have to be careful with where you're bringing from. And again, if you do live in a region where you have to bring things from far away, then just think, what kind of purpose am I using? Only enough? And, so you justify that carbon footprint on the use. When we're thinking about labeling is important because labels usually give us that sense of security that this was analyzed and audited by somebody. But we have to think that labels, they look at, we have to understand what the labels are looking for. Read what they are actually analyzing so you understand why this product is being labeled with that. Some labels, they look just at water management, or they're just looking at energy, or just CO2 emissions. What kind of things that if you're looking at the whole thing in a global thing, look for life cycle analysis. And even life cycle analysis, sometimes they can pay attention to one thing towards the other. Usually the industry will want to show you more what they're better at. So understanding the kind of labels that you are trusting is important. So with materials, we have indoor air quality, we have products from forests, furniture, energy, carpets, cleaning products, fabrics. And so there are tons of them. You can put the slide where most common labels are, and you can find them in your regions, most of them. Cradle to Cradle is excellent because they have this program where they look at things holistically. They look at social, they look at processes, and they look at fairness in the trade market. So they have this possibility of the product also to evolve within the label. So I think it's nice that you have to be constantly audited. That's why I like one of the most.
People are telling you are explaining very well, Sammy. We can't expect less from our Madonna here.
You're good. I thought she's not going to come up on this event.
She's a material girl.
I just, I levantei a bola, how it's in English.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Now you just put me on the spot and I cannot even think more.
Volleyball, I just got the ball and Sammy and TC just do this. All right, let's go on.
All right, and then materials, we also have to think where they're going. I already mentioned a little bit, but waste management is a way of us dealing with our materials. Are they being properly directed to the means? Are we diverting from landfills? Are we being careful not to mix things and contaminate other materials? One thing that commonly happens here in Brazil is that they have one of those buckets, those construction buckets that you can see, and they put materials that can contaminate with regular materials. And what happens is it becomes more expensive to the construction because to divert material that is contaminated, it's more expensive to divert regular material. So if you have a lot of bricks and things that could easily go back to earth and with a lower impact, but you have mixed with cement or paint, then you already have to deal with this in a different way, and you will pay more because when you take this bucket, you are paying by the weight or by the volume of this bucket to treat this. So it's not wise to mix everything and just send it off to be treated. This is something that also creates, money wise, a bigger problem. So preventing the generation of waste is first design with flexibility and have materials that are easily dismantled. Design with strategies for you to reuse this, and already with this on your thought. Think of the life cycle of your building and where all this extended responsibility. And when you're thinking on your site, properly condition your materials. A lot of the materials are wasted because they are not properly kept on the site. And then sometimes rain and wind take away part of these materials and destroy part of these materials. Also, materials, they have a expiration date. So buy wisely also on your project chronogram, because sometimes you can waste materials by letting them expire. Planning the logistics and not putting the materials and dangerous waste together. So broken mercury vapor bulbs, they cannot be thrown in the same place. Tiles with asbestos, different problems with paint and old batteries, plastic, anything that it's contaminated, like from air conditioning filters. All those things, they need to be separated properly. Okay, we're getting
Sammy.
Yes.
Last question, I promise. Can I burn material on site?
No, that's not wise. You should not burn materials on site.
No, I ask you that because I've been asked that on site, and I know in many places people do that. So it's important
that's not the best idea.
Yeah.
And if materials do go to incineration, they should go to a proper plant that does this and deals with the proper filters. Because sometimes a lot of the materials that you're burning, and even plastics, they have fumes that can contaminate the air. So you have to be careful with that. Absolutely place if they are being incinerated, they need to be into a plant where they have the proper filters on the chimney. Here you have a picture of Wellington that you guys have been talking with him here on the chat. And we promise that we're going to have a better picture of him every time we do this.
Oh, why is it in the chat? The guy in the slide looks like me. Yeah.
Yes. Wellington is our chemical engineer here on
Great joke, man.
in our office. Wellington is a chemical engineer. I totally lose track when the jokes come in, because I'm that girl that used to sit in the back of the classroom and laugh of ever small or bigger joke. I couldn't contain my laugh. I always
You laugh in the back of the class. I was in the front. Actually, I was in the corner.
No,
I was in the corner of the class.
I was because of my height, I was always placed in the back of the class, not by choice, but then I got used to it, and then I liked it. I like the people in the background. Anyways, so what is Wellington doing here? And as you can see, this is Umberto. It's a life cycle assessment tool that we use, and it's from iPoint. And this is part of our work here. We're going to talk a little bit more of this type of work, but our involvement with materials and construction got us to the industry, and the industry was interested in relating to architects and engineers in a better way, and they start talking to us, and we start developing life cycle analysis for construction materials so we could talk. And this is a great work for us. Here on your screen, you can also see some places where they harvest materials from different job sites, and you can buy. Many cities are having these places where you can buy used materials too. So whenever possible, look for those.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys. So materials was something like this, I think, right, Sammy?
Yes.
And now we have something important. Maybe you hadn't seen this. I will bring something new for you here. Green Hero Rise. Let's go on. let's go on. I want to know what you guys have learned so far. Tell us in chat, because right now we are going to have a very cool practice about natural light. People, it was the winner yesterday. Almost lost for artificial light, but natural light was the winner. So we are going to see this concept, and I want to know what you guys are learning so far, right? If you have learned something, I want to know. Yeah, people are screaming out, right? Neighbors are complaining. Neighbors don't understand what's happening in their places. Dogs are barking, and green hero
but there's
rise,
a
everyone. Nation
of heroes rising.
Yeah, let's go on, guys. You are the green heroes, as you know. We are just the guides on this process. I'm Gandalf, and you are the Frodo, right?
Frodo's.
Yeah. I'm Morpheus. You are Neo. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are Luke Skywalker. I am Hagrid, and you are Harry Potter, right? There is movies without Harry Potter. Harry Potter movies without Harry Potter. I don't get it, but let's go on. So, natural light, we can see this very cool concept, and I can see here lots of people talking good things about the class. Let's go on. So we have this beautiful thing here. We can see this yellow areas, and we can see this dark areas here, right? Oh, sorry. I'm not the best drawer in the planet, but we can see these dark areas and these areas here. And we reduce this on this project here. We can see another, right? This is the baseline. This B is the baseline, and this is the optimization, all the optimization, okay? And you can see that we have these two values, SDA, and we have ASA. And this is a project that we developed. And what is the idea? We did the project the first place, and then we analyzed, and we saw we have glare here. We have lots of glare. What we can do to reduce this amount of glare in these places, right? So glare is this thing here. It was representing 31% of our project. This is a lot. We want to have 10%, something like this, in this green area here, right? So this is the way to go. But distribution, SDA is distribution, ASA glare. SDA distribution, we had 84% of distribution. So we want to distribute light as most as we can and reduce glare. And when we are doing analysis on energy and daylight, we can improve our light distribution and remove glare. So we kept, right, this distribution, because when you are increasing light distribution, you will probably bring more glare. So it's a force thing. You need to try to do your best and be very wise in your choices. So you can see here our SDA. We kept at 84%, and then we reduced glare to 9%. So we did a huge improvement, because these yellow areas is not just bringing glare. So people are here; they are not seeing, as the best way that they should be seeing things. And of course, we are going to have lots of heat, right? We are going to have heat. We have our friend here, our sun. And we are going to have lots of heat because it wasn't very well planned. So this is the way I do facades when I develop projects. I do considering this. So I did this shading device here, right? We can see the shading device here. I put this glazing. I did some depth here in this area. So we changed lots on the building facade considering these properties. And then, of course, we are going to change properties in the glass, maybe, if you want to. So this is the major idea. And this was a project developed in Balneário Camboriú, okay? But before we proceed to our building simulation, I'm going to do this right now with you. Guys, tomorrow's class is going to be great, right? We are going to see, it's going to be mountains, nights, dwarves. We are going to have the best opportunities you can pursue right now. We are going to have the process to get green customers anywhere in the planet as we do in the company. We are going to be part of the Green Hero community if you want to. It's going to be a time-sensitive offer. And of course, tomorrow we are going to have the path for you to get the certificates. I won't tell the path for people who are watching the second class because they, you need to watch our classes to get your certificate. So this is going to be an awesome class. And now, oh yeah, we are going to have a new map as well. So we are crazy. We are giving lots of things. And fourth day, we are going to see the career roadmap as well. Okay, and we are going to have a summary. Okay, so this is the fourth class is going to be, is going to be epic. And let's go on. So we have this study here. And now we are going to, we have this we can see here as well, the baseline. And of course, this area is not as important because it's a parking. You can see a car here, but we can improve a little bit. So we improved a little bit, but here you can see the improvement, right? These areas here. And we shift to this, into this. So this is very cool. And this is about artificial light. We are going to see this bear. Keep the bear away for some minutes. Bears are dangerous. And now we are going to see how we can calculate our daylight. And we are going to use a software here called Lightstanza. This is a paid software. I'm just using the software to show the concept for you, okay? Don't keep on the software. We have other processes to teach the same thing. I just wanted to show the process that you can do this as well. Lightstanza is this software here. Right, I'm getting a free trial just to show the process because yesterday there was a guy complaining that we were selling softwares. We showed a free software yesterday and we were selling free softwares. I don't know how we could get money from this, but we can try later maybe. So this is a paid software, as I said, but I'm just going to show the concept. That concept of SDA and ASA. This is a standard from IAS 8312. It's a very important standard. It's the most modern standard when you're going to analyze daylight quality in your space. If you get LEED certification or WELL certifications, you will need to comply with this standard mostly, okay? Because this is the most normal standards. It's out since 2013, 14, so it's new, something new, and you are going to get the best because we are like kids here. You are bringing you the best. So we have this school here. We can see, right, the school, and we have some layers here in this software, and we can turn on external shades. Right, we can turn on horizontal shadings and things like this, but I will just keep as it is, okay? I will just keep this without the shadings, and I will calculate these two concepts, okay? The annual grid luminance, SDA, I will start the calculation here, and then I will calculate again the ASA. So I will calculate, of course, the distribution, the optimization of the distribution in the space, and I will calculate as well the amount of glare. So ASA glare, SDA distribution, and I will do as well an external horizontal shade and an interior light shelf as well in the project, and I will calculate as well. I will remove this monitor blocker inside here because in the first analysis that I'm doing here, I'm simulating. We didn't have the light coming from this place. It was closed. Okay, and now I removed this. Sorry, I forgot laje. Laje, it's slab. No,
slab.
Slab. Yeah.
Yes.
So I removed the slab there, and I put the shading devices, and I will do the same calculations again, and then you will understand the difference, okay? SDA, I start with SDA, and then I will calculate the ASA again. While it's calculating, I am explaining and saving your time because we want to bring the best value for our time, okay? So this is the simulation that I did first without the shadings, remember, without the shadings and without this monitor blocker, without the clear story window here, okay? I will just click here SDA, And then we can see these areas here and what it means. You can see here, right? And you can see 89, 91, 93. So the concept is, okay, I will explain here. I will just put in this so I can explain better. Think about this, 90%, 93. What I'm telling is this: we have more than 300 lux in this space. So 300 lux is a cool amount of lux considering a school, a classroom. I'm getting more than 300 lux for more than 50% of the hours in the whole year. So I'm analyzing the whole year, right? Getting the simulation calculates the whole year, and we are going to have hours between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we have this amount of hours, and I'm telling you that for more than 50% of these hours, I have more than 300 lux. So I have more than 300 lux. We have actually 90% here. We can see it's great, right? And we can see here we have 47%. So I'm below the 50%. And here I am below 50% as well. But we reduced, right, this amount of areas here with the a good distribution. And we can see 66, 67. And this is great. It's actually an outstanding analysis on light distribution. But when we see glare, and when we see here the glare, and of course, remember, we are not using any shading devices here, we can see that we have glare. And what does this mean here? We are analyzing the whole year again. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing, guys, I'm sorry, pardon me. Okay, once again, SDA, right? We can, I will just recap, don't worry. Okay, so we have 93%, 92, and then here we have 49%, it's below the 50%, 47, it's below 50%, and then we can see, but we have a very cool distribution in this space. But when we see the ASA, we can see that, and remember, right, we are not using any shading devices here, right? It's important for you to mention that. And we can see that we have these red areas, and if you see something red, you know that's problem, right? And what I'm telling you is this here. You understood the concept of distribution. More than 50% of the hours in the whole year, considering 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., we need to have more than 300 lux. I know there's a lot of information, but the concept is the best distribution as we can, more than 300 lux. And then when we are talking about ASA, I'm talking about this. I'm analyzing the whole year, and I don't want to have more than 1,000 hours in the year with more than 200 and more than two. I'm complicating things. Just I will recap. I'm analyzing the whole year, and I don't want to have more than 250 hours in the whole year with more than 1,000 lux, because this is a 1,000 lux. It's very hot. I don't need 1,000 lux. I need 300 lux. I don't need 1,000. So we are analyzing the whole year, and I don't want to have more than 250 hours in the whole year with more than 100 lux. If I have this, we are going to have problems. So we have problems here. We can see, right? We have a good distribution, a good amount of light here, but we have lots of glare. So we have good distribution. We passed this, but we got problems in this. It was like my project that I showed you. But then I did another analysis considering the monitor blocker, right? Considering this shading device here. I'm considering this opened, right? And then I can see the SDA, distribution. Distribution is fine. Actually, we improved the distribution here because we had this window above the classrooms. So we can see 85% here, outstanding distribution. And then when we see glare, we removed lots of glare, right? We can see now I just have glare in a small amount of the building, right? We reduce a lot of this glare. So this is the path for you to achieve a good project. Then I can put maybe an external shading device. I can change the design. I can change things. I can change inside colors of the building can make a difference. So I can put this and then I can analyze again, and then I can try to avoid this bad this glare here. Maybe you are improving your project, trying your best. So it's up to you. You understood the process, okay? So this is the way to do a natural light analysis, and I made a big summary, just show you this concept, okay? So you can try Lightstanza, maybe you can see for yourself. We are not affiliated or anything, just to show the concept, okay? Let's go on. So this is natural light, and then we are going to talk about artificial light. And then you have this bear, this crazy bear here, and maybe you don't understand why I'm putting this, but actually this bear represents about the light quality, right? We have this cool light quality here, and we can see that's more white here in this place, right? So
it's washed, yes.
Yeah, so this represents actually the idea of a good lamp. A good lamp needs to have color rendering index more than 80, right? We don't need to have a lamp that is less than that, because you are going to see this bear with the white more washed, as Sammy said. But if you see a bear, you can run. You know this, bears are dangerous, but this is the idea, okay? Bears are dangerous, as you know, okay? And then we have, of course, the lifetime of lamps. Você pode ir indo só
Oi, acho que a Tizi precisa ir essa parte. Okay.
All right. All right, I'm here.
Okay.
I need to answer something in the office here. Just 1 minute. I'm just go back.
Okay, okay. I was trying to answer all the questions I could here on the chat, but let's go.
All right.
So lamps, what do you need to look at when you're searching for the right lamp for your design? First thing, you want to make it sustainable. You should look at the lifetime. The more, the better, because you're going to take more time to change that fixture. Second, of course, you have to look at the amount of light that it's providing. So you have to reach the light levels that the standard, the local legislation in your area requires, and also related to the activities that people are going to do in that space. So you should look at that. But one thing that it's really important to look at, besides the lifetime of that lamp, is also the luminefficacy. Am I saying it right? Luminefficacy, luminous. Yeah, it's the proportion.
Efficacy, yes.
Yeah, efficacy. Thank you. So it's the proportion of light that lamp provides by the power that it takes to work. So it's the amount of light that it gives you by the energy that it takes to provide that light. So the more light it provides, the better, because it's using that energy or to make the most of that for lighting, and not, for example, for heating, which was what the incandescent lamps usually do. So this is why also people prefer LEDs nowadays. Yeah, thank you. LEDs nowadays, because they provide more light for using the less amount of energy for that. All right, Felipe?
Yeah, we can go on. I'm alive. Let's go on. So we have direct lighting luminaires. And this idea is to have the minimum as possible. And you can understand some concepts of indirect lighting. So you can use this to reflect, because the direct light is not cool for the, the site. Sometimes you get this kind of glare in your eye. Is not cool. And we have a great example, a cool website. Maybe we can show this tomorrow, I think, on the recap class. So we don't waste a lot of time here, but there's a lot of ideas on strategies, and then we can mix direct with indirect and make a bigger, better effect.
And use the materials to help, when you have this direct and indirect lighting, you can use colors and materials to help evenly spread the lighting on the place.
Yeah. You can see a very cool example. We told that this is not the best way, right? Because you can see a high amount of, I just understood that I can draw on things, and I will start to draw on everything. So you can see here this, right?
Spots right there.
Maybe we have more than 500 lux. There is the amount of light that we want to have, right, in the kitchen. 500 lux, 300 lux in an office. 300 lux in your home, 500 lux in an office. Usually when you are doing a more accurate job, you need to have more lux in your space. This is the general rule, okay? So direct lighting, you can have this. We have this transparency here, so this is not the direct that affects your side as much, but maybe we could do something that could distribute more light in the space, okay? So this is a general idea. Then we have this, we can actually improve a lot of our light inside the space and reduce energy consumption a lot when we consider these reflectances. So think about this, 25% on floors. This is the minimum that we suggest. Lots of certifications, lots of standards will talk of something similar than this. Walls and ceiling, because when we have light, when we can make a huge distribution on ceilings, it won't affect the quality of your space. And then the walls, of course, we can do this light distribution. And when we distribute better light, you are using light wisely. And of course, you're going to reduce energy. So this is the major idea. And we can use this actually on furnitures as well. I will show you. And then you can have this, of course, this types of materials that we can, right? We can see the reflectances of this. So this is a way that you can use to choose and on your interior design. Is awesome. Mobile partitions, 50%, 40% in work areas. So we don't have, right, lots of reflection displays because it can, you can have problems in your daily job, but 45% is cool. And then we have, of course, we need to think about the contrast. Think about your space. Let's say I have this. Maybe I could share some artificial light simulation in some of our classes, maybe tomorrow if I had some time, but we can see this. And when we have this light amount, maybe you have let's say we have a table here, right? And we have this table and we have this amount of lighting over this table, but I don't want to have, let's say we have 500 lux here, and in here you have, let's say 40 lux, right? It's not cool because you are seeing here with 500, then you are looking here, you have 440, and this is a lot. Sorry, this is a lot of difference. So you don't want to exceed 1 to 10, maybe 50 here, right? 50 to 500. So this is the idea. So 50 to more, let's say 100 here is going to be best because you are looking here, you are looking there, and it's not, making a huge impact in your project and your quality of site, right? Vision. We have hospitals, of course. When you're talking about hospitals, we are talking about control. We need to have individual controls. You need to bring power to people. And when we have, of course, patient spaces, they need to have control as well. And when you have multi-occupant spaces, you need to provide them on, off, and mid levels, right? So these are 3 ways to do. And this is great because maybe you have your space, you don't have I'm just drawing like crazy here, but let's say you have a lamp here, a lamp here, and a lamp here. Maybe you have a cool amount of light here from the sun, but maybe here you don't have. So if you can put a mid-level, you can maybe put this space as, just to bring the supplementary amount of light that you need, and don't use all, put this just on and use a lot of energy that is not needed in the moment. So this is the idea. This is a simulation that we did in office as well as a project that we were developing. It was in the early stage when I took this. It was in a very early stage, and we can see, right, the same concept as we can see here. We can see this amount of light here that we wanted, and sometimes you can have it, so you need to change types of lamps, and this is also a great way to do things. All right, so this is the way to go. And we have a little bit about thermal comfort as well. We can talk very quickly. I will show an example of how we can deal with thermal comfort as well. We have this concept, right? The PNV. The PNV is a very important concept because we can see people are comfortable in the level of 0, right? When it's 0 is comfortable. And when we are talking on -3 or more than 3, we are saying it's very hot or very cold. So we need to understand that when we are doing a beauty simulation, we want to have people in between this area here and this area here. What I'm telling is actually -0.5 or more than 0.5. We want to have people between this area here, right? So this is a way to go. You can see here, right? Minus and minus, and this is the idea. The amount of people dissatisfied, we want to reduce this as much as we can and keep this on this rate here. And when we are developing thermal comfort, this is usually the worst, the most difficult simulation that we need to do, because we need to deal with people. People have differences. We have the 6 phenomena in our places. We have the temperature of the place. We have the temperature of the surfaces, mean radiant temperature is temperature of the surfaces. We have the humidity of the place. We have the airspeed. We have the insulation of the clothing, and we have the metabolic rate. So let's say I'm here with Sammy. It's cold outside. We can have the same temperature. We can have the same humidity. We can have the same airspeed. We can have the same clothes. Let's say we
never have the same, hardly we have the same clothing because I'm usually cold.
Yeah, let's say I have the same metabolic rate as Sammy, but if I have, she's closer than she's closer of the glazing, she can feel a little different about the weather, right? So the 6 things you need to analyze when you are doing a beauty simulation. Let's say we are in the same place, we are in the same position, but Sammy is doing an exercise. So it's going to change her feeling about the place. Maybe for me it's good, but for her it's not good because she's doing exercise and she's feeling hot. So this is, when you are simulating, you need to consider all of these things. And that's why thermal comfort is more complicated to analyze. And of course, you understood in the last class, you need to understand these things, right? The measure of comfort in the space, right? This is the comfort, the amount of comfort, the place that we have comfort. We can see here the temperature, right? That is below here in my city. And of course, we need to get this. We need to understand the velocity of the winds, right? We have biggest velocities. We can see here the biggest velocities here, right? And more quantity as well in this place here as an example. So we need to consider this. We need to consider the clothing insulation. People are with a clothing insulation, and during the day, they maybe are removing the clothes or something like this. So we need to consider this during the day, and we need to consider the metabolic rate, as was telling Sammy is I don't know, she's walking and I'm lying down or something. It's going to make a huge difference. And then the standard that regulates this is ASHRAE 55, usually United States, and in European countries, these are the standards that you can use. Then we have some controls, and you can see the light, internal light and thermal comfort. It's all about controls, right? We need to see controls for individual occupant spaces. We need to provide controls for at least 50%. Multi-occupant spaces we need to provide, right, for all occupants. And hotels, retail, you can see. Usually we need to have more control because, as you can see, people are not the same. They have differences. We have opinion differences, right, here in Brazil about politics. People fight. Families are dismantled because of politics. And thermal comfort is not different. Okay, so so this is the way to go. And these are things that we can tell as well, right? Regular comfort for most people in the place. We can have the,
Yes.
we need to
And have one thing about controls and thermal comfort is that if you sometimes there are fights in offices too. People like raising and lowering the thermostat. So you have to have some sort of politics and tell people why it's in a certain temperature, and people will feel slightly discomfort or a slight discomfort. It's not a reason to be raising and lowering thermostat, because then you are dealing with energy efficiency too, and this can be bad.
Yeah, as Taha is telling here, ASHRAE 55 is for thermal comfort, ASHRAE 62 is for natural ventilation, ASHRAE 90 is about energy efficiency. We have NC 60 as well for acoustics. So we have lots of standards to cover. And if you are doing truly sustainable design, you need to understand these concepts. So this is an idea, right? You need to provide when you are dealing with thermal comfort for at least one of the following concepts: air temperature, radiant temperature, air speed, humidity. So this is the way to go. And of course, we need to provide this PMV. It needs to be compliant to ASHRAE 55. This is a great standard. Thermal zones for each 60 square meters for at least 10 occupants. This is what LEED and WELL certification says, right? So we are bringing here the best certifications for you to understand.
Yeah. Some people have mentioned before, that it usually is not ASHRAE that regulates on their legislation, but you can compare your legislation with ASHRAE and see which one is more strict. Usually it's best to work with the one that is most strict, and of course, within your legislation.
Yeah. So this is a way to go. And of course, maintain humidity. You need to add or remove humidity when necessary. Usually this is for certifications, and of course it's going to make it better for your place. So this is the way that
health.
The way we analyze. Guys, bring your eyes. I won't scream right now. I will just, because your neighbor may be mad, I don't want you to fire your neighbor, okay? Let's go on, guys. I want to know what you guys are learning in this. Okay, let's go on. I want to know. And then we are going to proceed to a case study. We didn't show lots of case studies today. I just want.
Maybe we can do it.
I just want.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I just want to show this case study here because we were developing this project, and we can say that we had the idea of the architect, and I just want to tell you the main idea. I was telling you about people dissatisfied, right? If we have 10 people in a place, I was giving you this example in the beginning of the class. Let's say we have the temperature 1 degree or less. We have, if you have 10 people, you hire 10 people in your place. If you are in this area here, you are fine. You have lots of people working your place. But if you have 6 degrees more, maybe you have, you have 6.5 people inside your place, and this is not cool, right? You need to avoid this type of thing. We want to have more people actually working, because efficiency, right? We are losing productivity when we are thinking, right? People are being discomfortable.
Yeah, so it's so important, thermal comfort. When you show to your client the importance of thermal comfort, definitely show that chart, because when he understands that he's paying for people that are not actually producing as much as they should, he will understand math and understand why thermal comfort is so important.
Yeah. So guys, I will show you here a very quick step-by-step to end this class. But the idea here is to present the climate, right? How we analyze this and how we develop our projects. So the first step is to read the climate. As we know in the first class, we told you about this. Read the climate, understand, write the stats, and how is our comfort zone here. We can see this comfort zone, right? We want to be in the comfort zone. And then we are going to go to the second step to understand more about the climate, the comfort areas, and things like this. We are going to understand about the winds. We are going to understand about the surroundings, right? The building surroundings. So you understood climate, then surroundings, then owner and architect requirements. So this project, there was a very strong, right, requirement that they wanted to be like a boutique store, and we couldn't do everything we should or could be doing. We couldn't have shading devices or things like this. It was more about the glazing properties. Choose wisely the glazing properties, about automations inside the building, some blinds, some shade, some internal blinds we could be using as well. So that was all about the properties. Then we can have, right, we had this requirement, and this project, it came when it was ready for approval, so we couldn't do much. And
that's one part of consultancy, guys. So if you're working with consultancy, you need to give all the tools for your client to make the decisions, but understand that you may have some limitations. Working with consultancy, it happens that.
Yeah. Then we have this. We had this type of glazing that was a requirement of the architect as well, and then we read this, of course, and then we started to see how it was the occupancy schedule, because it was important for us to know. We had a retail, right? This is the retail. People are entering later because it's not, this is the office and this is the retail. People are entering later in the retail, store opens later. Then we go through all the day, and then people left the building. But in the office, people arrive earlier, and they are going to have lunch, they're going to leave, they're going to go back to work, and then they are going to go here and leave the place sooner than the retail. So these things makes a difference actually on building design and performance. You need to understand this, because maybe you are dealing with a strategy that people want, they won't use. Maybe you are dealing with lots of light during the night and it's not needed, right? So it's important to know. Thermal comfort, as I said, right, predicted mean vote, it was important. We analyzed this, and we were hired to analyze thermal comfort in the first place. So we start to analyze the project parameters. Of course, U values, lower U values tends to reduce energy consumption. Walls, roof, internal floors. So we saw the U value of all of these features, and how, and maybe reducing or increasing or something, we could make it better for the building. So we analyzed all of this, and we could suggest on this project. So we start to analyze, and I like to say that it's like to analyze Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne, he in the 80s, because Ozzy Osbourne in the 80s, he did lots of things wrong, and if he went to a doctor, he was going to have lots of problems. So people need to understand what is the biggest problem. So let's say we are analyzing this facade, as we showed yesterday. We are just analyzing this, okay? This facade here, and then I'm telling solar heat gain is the worst problem that we have. This is the first problem. Equipment gain is the second, and glass conductivity is the third. So we understand the solar heat gain is about the glass, right? The glass, the SGHC see the solar heat coefficient. Every glass we can show tomorrow, maybe.
You want to?
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay, tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, because SGEC stands for solar heat gain coefficient. So we need to improve, we need to reduce this index to improve our solar heat gain. Then we have equipment. Then maybe we could change some things towards equipment. And glass conductivity, we can say maybe we could put a double glazing, right, to improve conductivity is amount of heat that is coming inside the place, right? We have lots of heat. Then we have 2 panes here. Maybe we can improve the performance. So we can analyze each facade individually. And this is a cool way to do and early thermal comfort design. And I'm telling you, for cooling loads, we need to analyze cooling loads, right? Because here in Curitiba we have 2 problems. We have problems with cold places and hot places. We are dealing with these 2 things, but maybe in your place is more about heating or more about cooling. You need to of course analyze the climate. Then heating, we can see, and you can see here, right? Cooling, we can see that the impact is much bigger, right? And here is smaller, you can see. But we have this problem here. So glass conductivity, maybe this thing that we are doing here, we can improve here as well, right? So we can maybe change some things like this, and this is the way to go. You need to analyze each facade individually.
That's the importance of choosing your materials, and each facade being treated differently. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually something that will contribute a lot to the design.
Yeah, and this was the project as let's say here we are using a no color, right, glazing. So we have lots and lots of glare, lots and lots of these yellow areas here. You can see lots and lots. And some areas with no light as well, so we can make it better, right? So we analyze, then we improve. Then we start to compile data. We organize data. We get this data here. Comfortable occupied hours. We get all of this story, right? We have this building stories. We can see here 50 floor, 6th floor. We can see number of occupied hours and cold hours and hot hours. We can analyze this, and then we are going to see the average comfort. 45% people have of the hours people are comfortable. You know, we have 51% of the hours that people are not comfortable. So this is the way to go. Okay, so we understood this, and then we started to improve, right? We can improve this. Just to see this, and we understood the major problem when we are talking with on glazing, right? Glazing type project with lots of glazing. We have this thing called thermal asymmetry. Colds gets here and enters very fast. You have the air conditioner turned on here, right? The air conditioner is turned on. The air conditioner is trying its best, but we have. Sorry.
He sneezed.
Huh?
I was sneezing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Let's go on. So we have the solar heat gain. We have this. Let's say it's very cold here outside. We have the air conditioner trying to heat this place the best, but this person is working here. But so it's coming inside the building, this cold very fast, and this person is dissatisfied because it's feeling cold here and it's feeling hot here. So it's like a hell for this person. This person is mad. And then we can, this the same type of glass, we can have the contrary, right? Maybe we can have the thermal, the air conditioner cooling the place. We have lots of heat here, and this person is mad because he's feeling hot and cold at the same time. And this can happen, of course, here as well, right? Lots of cold, or right, it's not cool. It's not a cool feeling. So you can have the best equipment system, but you can deal with health in your building when you are dealing with a situation like this. So this is why it's important to analyze the project since the beginning, all of this blah 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 thing that we are
Simulate
talking.
with the materials.
So this is the way. Then we start to analyze internal blinds. We can put internal blinds on north facade, east, south, and west. See here, oh, okay, if I put an automatic shutter, if the temperature is more than 24 degrees, okay, I improve the performance. So now I have more, a better percentage of people who are satisfied. I'm improving this. You can see 63 to 67, 59 to 69. So this is the way to go. On each facade, we do this. Okay, so internal blinds, let's say we have this building here, right? We have this facade. I'm putting an internal blind that is closing right when it's hot. So this is just one idea, but I mean, I'm analyzing types of glass, lots of types of glass here, as you can see. So this is the way we analyze. And then we bring some scenarios, and you can do the same when you are a consultant, right? You can be a consultant, or maybe you can be an architect, and you can bring these ideas. Okay, I have 3 facade ideas or 4 facade ideas. And then we brought some ideas, some scenarios with types of glass, with automatic shadings, and then we improved the performance in 31% in this case, 31 in this case, 30 in this case, and 28% in this case. So it's up to the client to choose. He chose the second option. So we got the second scenario here. It was the winner, right? So this type of glazing with this U value here that you can see. So this is the idea. You can bring the best to your client, right? This was the winner concept, and you can do the same. I promise you, you can do the same. This is the idea, how you can analyze your design. So you can see here the project as it was, you know.
This is also something that has to be presented to the client. Always what kind of big gap that he's jumping by improving.
Yeah, so you can see the improvement. You can see each area of this place. We have, let's say, this area here, and we are going to have improvement like this. So more people satisfied, more people happy, more people laughing. Okay, so this is the idea. To bring this is people happy, people happy, people happy, and this is the way to go, okay?
I'm just representing people happy.
Yeah, you are representing very well, I think. Let's go on. Let's represent our happiness. Let's represent our happiness. Oh, I think what it was doing here, right? You need to, of course, see the project analysis as well. Of course, we are building this. We need to see if everything's going okay, as we previously taught, and then the result, a very beautiful project, right? With people happy here, people happy here, because they are not living inside a hell, right? Working inside a hell. So this is the old way, guys. People do this. When they do the old way. They are based on form and function. They have confusion. They don't know what to do next. Sustainability is being ignored because they don't have the skills. They struggle to find differentials. And we are bringing this best decisions based on data, analysis structure. We have a structure, a step on structure, right? Green positioning, right? You're bringing a strong green positioning because you have data. You are analyzing what's important to analyze. You are presenting big differentials to your region, and you have a return of the investment clearly presented for your clients, and clients get happy when you do this. Okay, it's kind of it's kind of a bad person happy. I will try to make it
better. Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have to use the science and the tools in our favor to present to our clients. Every step of the way here, we showed you that we created a system. We show that we communicate our steps in a way where it's not too much, because the client won't read a whole book of things that you have been going through, but you have to have enough to make it clear the gap that he's jumping from, and the things that he's losing or winning with the way that the design is being done. So it's important to communicate and make it clear so the decisions that he will take or he will make sense to him. And it gives you also some sort of security on your job. You've done your part. When we do our consultancies, we know that at the end, not everything may be applied, but we did our job and we delivered the answers, we delivered the best practices and the consequences of not applying that. So it's important to have this clear with your client, and then you will have better results from your project. You know, you share some sort of responsibilities too, because you have told the client that he could deal with this problem. So if this problem comes on later, he's being warned.
Yeah. Guys, I just want to tell you something here. It's important to understand. I think now you get this, right? How we can't dissociate this with architecture anymore. When you know this type of concepts, you can't, run away and pretend you're not seeing this, because this is crucial. We need to analyze things. We need to have this information to make an outstanding design. And this is the way future architects will be, right? They will act. They don't, I'm not talking about beautiful and ugly or things like this anymore. You can't do this. You need to analyze this thing and do the best, okay? And we have this part on construction as well, the post-occupancy. We can, we need, to deal with this, right? This is going to be very important, of course, for your design. But
we are at the end here, guys.
Yeah, we are in the end of the map. So let's we are going to keep this briefly. Then we can summarize tomorrow a little bit.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. We're just going to go quickly towards these steps. So what do you have to be? Go ahead, Chisi.
No, you can start.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You've been quiet.
No, it's
for
okay.
a while now.
All right. So we did all those studies. We developed the design, and then we start building. And once we are building, our job is not done. We as architects, we have a responsibility to make sure that everything is in place, everything is being held in a sustainable way, constructed in a sustainable way. So it's important that we as architects are in the construction field as well. Of course, engineers will be there, and we must be there too, so we can know that everything is going, everything that we plan is indeed sustainable, it's working, and we can see all this cycle, the cycle ending in a good way. So we have to be careful with the waste in the construction field. Can we reuse what it's coming as packaging for products? Can we reuse that plastic to protect some material that we are going to use later? Can we protect the site from causing erosion, soil erosion, and then spreading that earth around the building site? We don't want that. We have to be careful with that. Can we prevent the construction site of creating more pollution for the surrounding buildings and the people that live nearby? Please be careful with the dust. So if you are in a very dry place, you can reuse the water from the site and just spray it all over so the dust falls down and you can sweep it later. Of course, the type of building that you're building, the system, if it's a very quick system to build and it doesn't give you too much waste, that's the better option that you can have. But if not, be careful with dust, be careful with waste, and so on. And the most important part to be in the field is to educate the staff that is working there. Be there so they can ask you what they should do, how they should do it. Okay, so it's a continuous development, is a continuous work that you have to do there. It's not the client, you have to educate the staff too.
Guys, let's proceed tomorrow with the rest of this class. I think it's going to be better.
Okay.
Okay. Because we talked about 2 hours and 2 hours and a half. I think it's going to be, because I see people they are talking, it was too much information. And we
information overload.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the end of the map tomorrow, okay? So, guys, Green Hero Eyes, I want to know what you guys have learned so far. I want to know more. What you guys have learned is important for us. Okay, let's go on. So tell us what you guys have learned. I hope, guys, you are achieving this transformation, because we are giving you the best we can, the most content that we can bring. And of course, some things we can talk tomorrow. And maybe we can have a 5th class. Okay.
If we're pushing things a little bit to tomorrow, then maybe we will push more towards the...
Yeah. So we can have a 5th class.
All right. If
Friday,
you guys are here, we're here.
Yeah. Let's go on this way. Okay. So the best learning, I want to know more. Okay. And we can split this in 5 classes, because I know people are crazy. Lots and lots of content. So tell me what you got on this content, results you can expect, right? It's important for us. We want to bring you the most content we can in this event, okay? Guys, I want to tell you something as well. Tomorrow we are going to open a new opportunity, okay? Very important, and the first people who are getting here are going to have the best. They're going to have more things, okay? It's going to open a new opportunity for our training, the Green Script. We opened the first, the first students, they arrived and they enrolled in this training in January, and the results have been amazing. So we are very confident in presenting this for you again, and it's a closed opportunity. You can have this opportunity tomorrow, and it will be closed. So you have tomorrow and not many time to get this. So it's going to be for a very few days. So the Green Script, if you be here tomorrow with us, you're going to have an outstanding bonus if you join us. Okay. Green Script is opportunity. It's paid, of course. It's going to be limited spots, so be there tomorrow to know about this. We are going to talk briefly about this. Collective share, guys. We have some collective shares going to be awesome today. And third day, I will present you this. I will present our internal joke. You can see this blue thing here. You can see in our Instagram what I have written. You can laugh a little bit, and then you can share what you've learned with people. You can put you can add some content here as well. And it's going to be awesome. People who want to know what we are talking about. It's going to be nice. So commentary, we have another collective share, a bonus collective share. Those who tell us what do they think. We are going to have a very cool prize for everyone of Sustainable Materials one-on-one course as well for these people. And this is the testimonial contest. So you can watch other people who are watching our courses, their opinion, and we want to present these people a prize for the best people who win this contest, the best testimonial. You guys are going to vote. So you will have this video, you will have opinions out there, and you can have your opinions. So this is a way to go. Let me show you very quickly. You can see what they are talking about, right? Let me see.
Yeah, these are people that have been in our past events and are in our courses or are part of the community now.
Yeah, so this is the contest we are going to have. You can see some people talking, and then you can go here and you can talk here, right? You can say what you guys have learned here, okay? So this is the way to go. I want to tell you again about the Green Radio, okay, TC? While you are preparing the Green Radio, I will talk about that. You can say what you what you are thinking about the third class. You can have prizes as well. We have a winner, and we are going to talk tomorrow about all the steps to become a green hero, okay? And we need to have the summary, right? The summary of this class I can present to you, right? We are going to have the third class summary. You can put your email here. You can click here and you are going to have the summary. It's important to say you have the summary in a few hours, in 20 hours, okay, before the next class. Why I'm doing this? Because it's important that a person, right, Tatiana is developing the summary, so you get the summary after she does the summary. She can't give you right now, okay? So you put your email here. And the summary link is, let's see. Just 1 minute here, and I will give the summary. So tomorrow is going to be our outstanding class. Be there. You're going to have lots of opportunities, the best green opportunities, the best ways to get customers, the certificate, information, and you can be part in our community. It's an outstanding opportunity we are going to present you. The map as well, another map. We are going to bring your career, your green career roadmap. And the summary link for today is Material Girl. Okay, so you can go here in this website, as I've been there earlier. You can go here, you can click on our YouTube, you can, oh, this is private. These two you don't have anymore. So you can click on this, turn on the reminder here, and you can invite friends, join the Telegram channel, join the Facebook community, okay? And I'm going to see a way to present you a map. If you don't have Telegram, for some reasons you can't have Telegram in your country, I'm going to bring you alternatives tomorrow. I will be telling you this as well, okay? About the summary as well, maybe you have a problem, I will see a way to get this.
Are we going to play the audio now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Let's try.
Hi guys, so I'm an architecture student, and when I signed up for your class I actually expected to get some tips and tricks about sustainability, so I could share off my knowledge about this field to my friends and to my teachers. But when I started the classes, I realized that you are regularly talking about clients and working environments and how to get people to work with sustainability, and that actually disappointed me at first. But then I realized what you were doing was teaching us how to work with sustainability and why is it so important to do so, rather than going over just some tips and tricks. And that actually pushes us, motivates us to do research on this field and stay curious, not just imply some tricks that we find on the internet. And that is actually more important. I just want to thank for that.
Oh my God, you're here.
Sorry.
She's like, oh, it's me.
All right, guys. So this is it. This is it for today. I hope you had a great experience here with us. We are trying to bring the best we can, and you can see that we are bringing a big effort here. And this is it. You can say the last words for today.
Thank you guys for staying with us. We went a little longer. There was a lot of material to cover, and still we're going to finish tomorrow the map. But thank you for your patience and your efforts to be here and to learn more about sustainability and do it. Put your foot on the water.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right. And don't forget, Green Hero Rise.
Like you guys are just like explaining everything like in like such a friendly and accessible way. Like whatever I'm learning is like the real lifestyle, like with such an enjoyment and like just such an easiness. Now, the most important part, thank you guys.
Hoje em dia eu estou morando em Londres. Logo que eu cheguei, eu comecei a perceber que uma das coisas que eu teria que ir atrás e buscar mais conhecimento seria na área de sustentabilidade. Eu acho que foi aquele primeiro passo bem dado, sabe? Não é assim, algo superficial, não. Quer falar de sustentabilidade? Então vamos falar direitinho.
I'll be on the path of sustainability forever, and I dream of a post-carbon world, like always. So thank you guys.
I feel like a new architect after learn a lot about the sustainable from you guys. So thank you very much.
And I kind of did the week, and I got excited again.
It makes me feel really happy about what I'm doing now.
Is my step towards the next thing in my life, is really focusing on that and maybe in consulting and design. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
You know, it's not even future, it's right now. It's already a movement, and I think there's so much to be done, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your interest in sustainability. I think we can change the world together.
But now it's like an entire new world. Like we're really, really, really thankful for all of the impact that you're doing. So it's amazing. And I won't say more because everyone just did amazing things.
Ele me trouxe uma metodologia, me trouxe uma clareza de uma didática e uma sistemática para que eu possa otimizar os resultados do trabalho que eu venho fazendo.
This course opened my eyes and mind as well for the new that's coming, and I think everybody who cares about environment and people well-being should start the U-Green course. It's just amazing. The people who you will work with, they want to motivate, encourage you, they will support you, and they're so passionate about their work.
U-Green makes it so fun. They make it fun to learn, they make it exciting, and they also show you how easy it can be to start your own architectural firm. They're an amazing group of people. I love working with them. They love what they do. They're passionate about design, and they're passionate about helping architects design more sustainably, and that is exactly why you should take part in some of their programs. You will not regret it.
Just go for it. Not every day an opportunity like this shows up.